Hi guys, come take a trip with me from Plumstead to Wynberg. Alright, so there I am buying my ticket. I decided to come to Plumstead station because it's quiet and I felt safer taking out my phone there. So yeah, the train was a 5 p.m. train during the week, and there is my ticket. It only costs 7 Rand 50, which is actually quite cheap. It's just over half of what the taxis cost because the taxi is actually 12 Rand. So yeah, you get to save up a lot of money. And the train was actually quite early. Well, it wasn't early, it was on time because it got there right at 5 p.m. And there we go. There we go. And yeah. So yeah, now we're basically on our way, and the train is going. So there's only one stop between Plumstead and Wynberg, which it's called Witterboma, and that one is actually it barely even gets to stop there. So I was really trying not to get flagged for getting people with the Popia Act. So I was trying my best to hide the people, hence why it's going really fast and there's barely no sound there. So yeah, and then very soon we are going to get to Wynberg.
Wynberg Station. Please mind the passenger.
And there we are, guys, straight going into Wynberg. And honestly, guys, this train ride was such a convenience. If the train is honestly on time every single day, I would take it all the time because took me literally just under 5 minutes to get from Plumstead to Wynberg. And it was, yeah, and there we are, into the rush, kind of get a ticket, and there we are, Wynberg. Hello, hi, ladies and gentlemen. Are you good? Are we good? I'm great. So thanks for tuning in today. There's been a slight issue with the video that I shot, so I've decided to do a little back vocalist. No, is it a vocalist? No, that's a singer, right? Anyways, so yeah, so today I'll be basically talking about trains, the whole role of trains and how trains fit into the whole spectrum of urban planning. I'll also be doing a little mini tribute to Ubud Loyiso, who was family to me, and reason being is because this was inspired by him, because one of his latest projects was definitely with Uprasa, the metro rail in Cape Town, which was basically where they ended his life while he was busy pursuing one of those projects. So this is a little mini, let's say it's a farewell to him and an appreciation note that will be online for decades to come, hopefully. So, public transport and trains in South Africa. So, metropolitan areas around the world. So, guys, when we say metropolitan areas, we mean the big cities. So, it's your Johannesburg, your Cape Town, your Durban, your Nelson Mandela Bay, your Bloemfontein, so it's Mangaung, all of those little mini big areas. So that's what we mean by metropolitan. So academically speaking, this is just a definition of where it all fits in. In metropolitan areas around the world, the integration of transport and land use developments around the railway stations are high on the agenda of governments. Mounting concerns over the adverse effects of mobility systems dominated by individual motorized transports are increasingly translated into policy goals, bolstering public transport networks in polycentric metropolitan regions with the overall aim to functionality to integrate urban settlements by systematically improving their accessibility In Flanders, the policy domains of mobility and urban planning have never been firmly attuned. While this is globally, South Africa, that's another thing. This apparent mismatch has resulted in dispersed settlement patterns that hinges on the mutually enhanced by mobility systems dominated by car use. So guys, car use, it messes up the whole point of the fact that people need to come into town and work and leave. So now car use, it's very expensive because of petrol. It congests so much that we need to have a place for this, so parking. So that means that the land use, we need to literally, if you're building a building, you literally need to have a place for cars, and this is eating up all the space, especially now that everybody is just coming into the big cities and working. So, first things first, urbanization. What is basic urbanization? Urbanization is when people flock into the cities to come find work. There are some statistics there where at the current moment we have 63% of people living in urban areas, and then that'll probably rise by 71% in 2030. So yeah, that's just, it's been going on since the beginning of the beginning. Well, where the people come to find jobs so that they live sustainably, or sustain themselves. So in South Africa, we have the legacy of apartheid planning, which basically separated the whites, who were the minority, and the blacks, who were the majority. And you have instances where something like a simple road separates the two, where the others are very, very rich and the others are poor. I have my examples there in Joburg and the other one in Cape Town. So basically, this is where spatial planning comes in. So basically what spatial planning does in South Africa is that it uses land use management and it explores strategies and systems that are critical in addressing the fragmented land systems. So these documents, so it's basic documents like the IUDF, the NDP, and the SDF, which are basically the integrated urban development frameworks, the National Development Plan, as well as the Spatial Development Framework. So what these do, they try to, as you can see on my on the left-hand corner there, I've listed all the issues, one of which are unsustainable infrastructure networks, where the main problem is the fact that because people are living in urban areas, even though they are living so far, they don't have places to go. They build shacks. They build shacks wherever they can, and unfortunately our roads and our railways cannot sustain all the influx of people. So what happens is the fact that people I have a video coming up next where we have Ufikile Mbalula basically explaining what the whole point of what the government was set to do or is busy doing in terms of the metro rail in South Africa. So this is where we say that we have all these plans such as the spatial development frameworks, where they said that this is supposed to happen in transport, and then on the ground, we have people who need to work and do this. And Loyiso was one of those people where we have that people came and settled on the railway tracks because the railway was not working. So Upu's role was basically to help these people move, and he was their mouthpiece in between with the government and the people who were actually negotiating better circumstances for these people. Whereas we have problems because, guys, let's face it, the central line, I have highlighted in the red, whereby the central line basically leads to where the majority of the black people who are the workforce in Cape Town who work there, and they are the ones who need the train the most. They need the train simply because it's cheaper, and also, come on, it saves a lot of time. So yeah, that is the basic point of having a train in urban cities, because it is definitely faster and it's more efficient. And if it works in South Africa, that would be great. In the greater metropolitan areas, that would be just amazing. So Upudi was the key person who was actually helping turning that the reason why there is urbanization, the reason why we have spatial planning and all these policies. He was actually he was the person on the ground who was helping drive these policies coming to fruition. South Africa has many wonderful laws and all these policies, and yet it's hard to implement them. So Upudi was a key person in Cape Town that actually was assisting the train to move from the urban areas where there are jobs for our people, moving them into their areas. I mean, the better option would be for the people to live closer, but I mean, this is South Africa. It takes a while to get there. So okwangoku, transport to public transport and the way it moves is very important, and also it has to save costs because people are living below the poverty lines.
Loyiso was a trusted servant of the people. Ndime apha namhlanje njengonobhala we-ANC. Ndime apha ndimele umbutho ngoba uLoyiso wayengumntu owayethembakele kubantu base-Western Cape. Ngoku ndinguminister ndamcela uLoyiso sisokola apha silwa into yokubana iitreyini zibuye ngoba abantu abangathatha entweni abakwazi uafforda uhamba uye emsebenzini ngeteksi every day. Ndathetha noLoyiso ndathi mfondini kawuze uzosinceda phaa kukho ingxaki sithethe nabahlali usincedise siyalungisa sivule indlela uqala ngapha enyanga uyoqhina ngapha ngasePhilippi. uLoyiso responded to that, and umama bethetha apho uthetha inyani. I was working with Loyiso. Lo rhulumente walapha eWestern Cape apha eKapa usokolisa uxotha uthetha ubuxoki. uLoyiso wangenelela wasincedisa saxhumana nabahlali sasebenzisana. When I left as a minister, le line ekuthiwa yi-Central Line itreni seziyahamba pha.
I'm sure when you guys Google Uboti, Loyiso Nkohla Mabandla was we all know what comes through when you Google him. But all in all, the crime in this country, we can say the lack of knowledge of people, the people who do commit the crimes. It has affected many people in many ways. The people who worked with Uboti, the people who worked for him, and the people who worked with him. All in all, it has affected families. Not only those families, but especially to us. Because this man was not just a person who was organizing something and that was that. He was a father, he was a brother, and he was a leader in the family. For most of us, his family who are in Cape Town, we have literally lost someone who was a parent figure. With us who have literally came into the city to come look for work, he was the person who was here, who was looking after us. This man, for me personally, Uboti, he is the main reason why he's part of the reason why I chose to use my career as a mouthpiece and trying to educate people on the basic planning. I mean, the whole point of my channel is to try and to reach out to the people and let them understand what town planning is all about. So in a way, he did influence me in ngendlela of the fact that I'm trying to reach out and I'm trying to help people. And it was just a thought of how can my unemployed self use my career, use my education into educating the people around me. So I made this channel. He was honestly an influence of it. Simply because when I came to Cape Town to study, I came to Cape Town and he was literally the person who was helping me look for res. He was the person who would literally, if I'm sick, I would call and be like, Boti. He would come through, take me to take me to the doctor. This man, he is not only just the leader that people Google and people look at as shameful as it is, it's very hard to acknowledge the fact that you want to say rest in peace to someone that you feel should still be here to raise his children. So, as sad as it is, ndithi phumla body. We will definitely miss you. We are missing you.
Amandla, long live the undying spirit of Loyiso, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Loyiso, long live. Amandla. And Yabula.
The journey of life that everyone has to take is filled with thrills and dangers and holds the promise of something wonderful at journey's end. And like the yellow brick road, I believe that this channel will lead to good things. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and of course, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Kyaleboha. Tamako.